Motor is installed. Looks great. Good spacing. Everything's solid. Looking good. Cowl, the whole package put together exceptionally well. I want to go through what I did to install the motor, because obviously that's a big part of it. And not just screw it on, but how do you get it so the spacing between the spinner plate and the cowl looks good, right? So I'm going to go through the process. Stick around. We're installing the motor. And so what I've been doing is playing around with where it sits on there. The kit comes with a couple of these larger spacers. And so I've been putting the motor on, put the cowl on roughly. I'm not locking anything down with Loctite, or I'm just kind of getting in that position to make sure that there is enough of a gap between the spinner plate and the cowl. And so it is a fiddly process of installing the cowl, putting in a few screws. You don't have to lock everything down, but it is a back and forth. What I was trying to do is get to that point where it was just right, and then I would make some fine adjustments with the very thin shims that would slide under there. Turns out, for the most part, when I put on one of these, and there's a fiberglass part of that, installed that on the back plate, it gave me the right spacing. So I don't need to mess with that right now, at least, I don't think. So I'm going to back off all these screws, take everything off, put it back together using Loctite on all the screws to get it locked in there, and then we're good. We'll put the cowl on. We'll probably test it again one more time with the cowl on, and then I'll take the cowl off and run the ESC and get that all locked in. Okay, what I'm doing is getting this installed using the longer screws, and we're putting this together like so, and I'm gonna get some Loctite, put it on the screw, and install that screw. These are the long screws. The kit comes with short screws and long screws. I'm using these long screws. Just to try to get this first plate, first couple screws in. Okay, I'm going to torque those down pretty good. All right, that's down. Get the motor in. And do the same thing with these screws. Little Loctite. Don't forget this step. See this one here. Okay, that's locked in. We're good there. Now we're going to fit the cowl and make sure that fits properly, and that the spacing is proper, which I should be. Hope so. Cowl's kind of finicky to get on sometimes. Okay. Take a look at a couple things here. This doesn't look bad on there. I'm happy with the way that plate is on there. If you can see the gap, that's not bad at all. And overall, yeah, it looks pretty good. So all of that looks good. Next step, get the ESC, and we'll figure it out from there. All right, now everything's plugged together, and I'm going to hook it up to the servo tester and just test to make sure that it's spinning in the right direction. If not, swap out one of the, two of those cables, and you're good to go. We're done. Cowl's back on, and put the spinner plate on. Put the prop so it's centered basically in between the two holes for the spinner. Kind of tighten it down. Then put the spinner back on, lock that all down. I don't Loctite. What I mean is I'm just tightening it down well. And she's ready to go. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you have any questions, leave a comment. If you have a different way of installing these motors, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment. If you like what I'm doing, hit like. Appreciate it. Have a great day.